Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be giving a speech on school uniforms and why I do not think they make a difference. Would you stop your child from self-expressing his or herself? Most of you would answer no to my question. But if so, why is it that we allow school uniforms to make our children wear uniforms every day to school if it stops self-expression? Before I start today, I would like to show you a school uniform here in the United States for those of you who are not familiar with one. First, I would like to show you the shirt. Usually the child has to wear a solid color shirt, front and back solid, has a few buttons that most of the time they have to be buttoned. Second, these are the pants, just regular khaki pants. If they have belt loops, the child must wear a belt. If not, they don't have to. The belt has to be a solid color belt. In this case, it's a brown belt. It has a braided texture, but it cannot have any kind of graffiti, writing, anything like that. Just solid color. I would like to begin today by telling you the pros of the uniforms and the cons of the uniforms and why I side with this side and what research shows. Let's begin. Mrs. Gibson, a teacher at Mark Twain Elementary, provides a few reasons to why she believes that school uniforms are beneficial to the children. She says, it reduces peer pressure. Children won't need to fit in certain groups, or they won't feel the need to fit in certain crowds or to have certain things that other children may have that they cannot afford. She also says that a child performs academically better. She believes that when the child prepares him or herself in the morning by putting on a school uniform, the child mentally prepares himself for a busy day at school. She also says that it reduces school violence. This, I believe, only benefits the schools that have one color for the shirts, because therefore everyone wears one color and everyone looks the same. Here in the United States, however, a lot of schools do allow for the children to wear about 3 to 5 different colors. Now let's explore the other side, the downside of school uniforms. I came from a middle-class family. I didn't have the finer things in life, but I also didn't live off very bad. I didn't ever feel pressure to have those certain things and to fit in certain crowds. I believe that if a parent shows a child how to appropriately dress for school, there shouldn't be any problems like that. So personally, I don't think school uniforms make a difference. The downside of uniforms. First off, I'd like to tell you how they do not save money. There are a lot of families who are not financially stable and their children are living off of hand-me-downs from older siblings. So if this is the case, why and how is this family going to afford school uniforms whenever they don't have enough as it is? A student that I interviewed, Kelsey Baker from Cockrell Elementary, says, and I quote, I am a very girly girl. My uniforms are very boring, so I like to add jewelry and a sparkly belt to match my sparkly eyeshadow. It makes me feel like me. Sociology experts and educators say self-expression is very important in a child's developmental stage. If we stop that, the child can find unappealing ways to express themselves. For example, like Kelsey, an 8-year-old girl who wears glittery eyeshadow to school. Kids may start wearing makeup at early ages when they wouldn't. And also piercings in random areas. The eyebrow, the nose, the tongue, the lip, and the list goes on and on. The last thing on the downside is it would be very difficult to distinguish a child. If a child were to go missing, the child would be very hard to report to authorities. Among the other hundreds of children who are wearing the exact same thing, it would be very hard to pinpoint one child out of the many. If the parent and the child chose what the child was wearing that morning, the parent, the school, the child would know exactly what he or she were wearing, and it would set him aside from everybody else. I believe that we should worry more about our child's safety than how they look when they go to school. Parents want to feel like their child is safe and that the child feels safe at school. Now, let's go over and see what research says. In 2007 to 2008, 18% of schools wore uniforms, and it only has increased since then. I would like to show you a bar graph of the increasing rate of school uniforms in the United States. School uniform increase. In 1990, 3% of schools in the U.S. required uniforms. In 2000, it jumped to 11%. 2010, 18%. And the projection of 2020 is an increasingly rate of 25%. Imagine all those students in 25% of the schools that are not being allowed to self-express themselves. Jody Redman, an expert in education, says, even though uniforms are said to benefit the child academically, socially, mentally, in reality, they do not. David Brunsma did a study and says that children did not benefit from school uniforms. David believes it actually has a negative effect. The studies he found showed almost no correlation between school uniforms and academics. He says if there were to be a correlation, it would be 0.05%, and he says that is closer to 0 to 1. So the case about school uniforms increasing and benefiting children can easily be dismissed. Let's sum up. I have explored the good side of uniforms. I have explored the bad side of school uniforms, and I have also told you why I disagree with school uniforms. Research has obviously shown that school uniforms are not beneficiary to a child. They do not matter. With the following speech, I hope to have persuaded you all to understand more that school uniforms don't make a difference. Let's let children self-express themselves. Let's let children explore themselves in ways they never have before. Let's let children be children. Thank you so much for listening to my speech today. I hope that you all learned something for this. Thank you.